Again, that No Kings movement is a pushback on presidential power. And this morning, many of those rallies set to kick off. And though they have been planned for months, they do coincide with the recent ICE raids that have generated a lot of controversy across the country. This is all happening on the same day that President Trump plans to host a military parade in Washington, D.C. in honor of his birthday and the Army's 250th birthday, rather. And while none of the No Kings rallies are planned for that Washington, D.C. area, more than a dozen of them are scheduled for here in North Texas. Local law enforcement tells us that they are aware and they are prepared and that they do respect North Texans' right to peacefully gather. Now, one of the largest protests expected to take place right outside Dallas City Hall. Rebecca Lopez shares how Dallas is responding and what they're asking protesters to remember.
DPD is preparing for both protesters and counter-protesters. They are expecting large crowds. Latino leaders have been meeting with Dallas police officers, and they are encouraging people to protest peacefully. Across the nation, protests have been tense as people take to the streets to protest President Trump's aggressive immigration policies. People have been taken into custody at their places of work, inside immigration courtrooms, and in their neighborhoods. LULAC, the largest Latino civil rights organization, has been leading some of the protests and calling for people to come to action, but also encouraging people to protest peacefully. They say their message gets lost in the civil unrest. Leaders met with the National Latino Law Enforcement Organization on Thursday night to see how they would work together to make sure the protests stay safe and don't erupt into chaos.
We're living through challenging and emotional times. People have strong feelings, and many feel compelled to speak out. That is their right, and I want to be clear that the City of Dallas respects and supports the right of every individual to engage in peaceful civic expression. At the same time, I call upon everyone participating to exercise that right responsibly. Peaceful protest is powerful, but violence and destruction will distract from the important issues that need to be heard.
You will see a larger Dallas police presence. They are going to send out their specialized units like Mounted Patrol and SWAT. But the protests are expected to end before nightfall because typically police believe that is when the problems start. In Dallas, I'm Rebecca Lopez. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Rebecca. And as we mentioned, today's No Kings rallies do fall on Flag Day. The U.S. Army officially established on this date, June 14th, 1775. In a few hours, President Trump set to lead a parade in honor of the military in Washington, D.C. and in celebration of his 79th birthday.